Good morning, or afternoon, or whatever time it is where you happen to be. I was just talking to my mother on the phone, and I told her I was about to make myself a cup of coffee. And I told her I was going to make it inside a French press. And then, of course, I had to explain what I was talking about. And she seemed to think that it was an awful lot of work. And I tried to explain what it is that I do to make a cup of coffee. So I told her, hey, I'll make a video for you. So this video is actually for my mom. But if you're somebody out there who wants to know how to make a cup of coffee with a Bodum, hey, you might find this useful as well. So here it goes. This is for you, Mom, or anybody else for that matter. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this scale here. There's I have this little Starfrit kitchen scale. And really what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make sure that I get the right amount of coffee in there. Oh, so first thing I want to do is I want to take out the plunger part of this thing. And what I'm going to do is make sure that the scale is zeroed out by pushing the 0 button there. And the scale is now at 0 grams. And I'm going to fill this thing up basically right up to just below where this bar is. Not with coffee, but with water. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out my coffee, which I'm doing here. And I'm going to make sure that I've got, I found out for me anyway, you can figure out for yourself, I figured out for me anyway that roughly, based on the amount of water that I've got in there, that I'm looking at probably about 20 grams. And believe it or not, this actually does make a difference. So it's not less, more is actually better. So now I'm sitting at about 20 grams. I'm going to add just a couple more grams. Where are we at now? We're at 21. That's almost perfect. 22, 21 grams. So here, let's try to be a little tiny bit perfectionistic. There we go. Oh, 23 grams. I'm really going and blown it this time. Doesn't matter. So anyway, so I take my ground coffee, which is a medium grind I got over at Starbucks there. And I'm going to put that aside. So now I've got my coffee measured out. And the next step in the operation is hot water. Go figure. And since I'm a little bit lazy and I don't feel like, I mean, I know you're thinking, hey, dude, you've gone through all these steps and you're calling yourself lazy. Well, you know, maybe I am a little tiny bit. But I've got a Keurig sitting over here, okay? You can see my Keurig over here. And I've found out that with the, you know, the Keurig is great for, you know, for making a quick cup of coffee when you don't want to spend any time at it. But it's also a handy reservoir of hot water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cup, the Bodum cup underneath there. I'm going to close this sucker up, and this is going to be like a two-step operation because I'm going to go for a extra large cup here. And there we go. There we go. And so we just wait for a second here. So maybe when this thing is, this editing, there we go. See the Bodum thingy. Anyway, when this is editing, assuming of course that I do any kind of an edit on this whatsoever, Mom, I may take this part out, but there you go. It's kind of pretty actually, isn't it? Isn't that pretty? It's pretty. So we'll just wait for the water to fill, Now, of course, this is not going to go all the way because it's just not enough water. Even the extra large cup is not enough water. So what I'm going to do, because I'm trying to get water out of my, out of my Keurig here, is I'm going to open it up, close it up again, and this time I'm going to select the medium cup. Or the cappuccino cup, rather, I should say. There we go, the cappuccino cup, and that should take me to just around the metal bar there. So we'll do the cappuccino fill. I hope you appreciate this, Mom. There we go. Water into the bottom. All right, there we go. All right, so we've got that filled up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that aside. I'm going to put that down over here, and I'm going to stir this gently so as not to get too many grounds on the outside there. I know there's probably a better way to do this, but I'm going as I go along. So here we go. All right, so it's kind of more or less stirred up. The grounds are not sitting along the side there. So I'm just going to put the spoon down here, and I'm going to gently, carefully reinsert my filter here. And I'm going to take it down to just right here. And so I've got the front. This is the part where it's going to filter it out when it finally pours here. But I've got it just sitting here above the metal. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the timer for about 4 minutes, okay? So I'm going to let the coffee sort of steep, so to speak, for about 4 minutes. And I'll see you back here in about 4 minutes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's turn the timer off. So 4 minutes have passed. So really all I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take this plunger here and I'm going to slowly, gently push it down. I don't want to push with huge amounts of force or push it, or jam it down, because I'm not trying to I want to keep the grounds below the filter. All right, and the way to do that, well, one of the best ways to do that is to just not be totally crazy here. So you gently, slowly push it down. At least I gently, slowly push it down, and eventually we get right to the bottom, and there we go. We're right at the bottom. Okay, so now the only step left, the only step left at this point is to take your coffee and you start pouring your coffee. All right. So I'm going to pour my coffee. Actually, I'm going to turn around here so that this works better for me. But here we go. So gently pour your coffee in there. Again, not too crazy, because I'd like to keep any grounds that are on the bottom down as much as possible. And I'm a wimp. I like to have cream in my coffee, so I'm going to put some cream in my coffee. And there you go. Cream in my coffee. Stir it up. And the only thing left is for me to drink it. And yes, there is one little tiny ground up there. That's fine. That's a danger. It's an occupational hazard, but I drank it anyway. So there you go, Mom. That's how I make my coffee, and it's in a cat's mug. It's in a mug with cats on it, because my son loves cats. And because he loves cats, I decided to do the video in the cat mug. So there you go, Tristan. I know you love cats, so there's coffee in a cat mug. Anyway, so for anybody out there who thought this was useful, awesome. And for you, Mom, that's what I go through to make a cup of coffee. Bye, Mom.